And Vitality Game, which is currently being brought to you by James Bardoff and Hawker on that main stream. They're going to their third map as well. So the distance there, teams fighting for a semi-final spot. Essentially, once you lock yourself in for the playoffs, get 2 cracks at the semis as long as it's through that upper bracket. Anyway, let's focus in. Tech issue sorted. Odds favoring Cloud9 and Kios. Front of the pack, who would have thought?
Yeah, no surprises there. Kios, look at him go off
It's
the
gonna need
flash.
the speed.
God, he's so quick. And already taking fights with these guys towards B. Shiro probably second guessing himself. Now surely he has to activate. Kios hasn't cleared him. And he will at least be punished, but this is peculiar. They've lost the B site. During all of that, they're set up in a post plant. You got bench occupied, A-core close. I like the angles, I like the weaponry. That's a good smoke to get them in. Oh wow, I tell a lie. They used that smoke to pepper Cloud9. Limited. And one from A-core onto Shiro. Still Buster and Perfecto with very little health. But they're running out of players here. GL need Isaac and Nealon to close this out. Short, spotted out. More bodies encroaching. Time is of the essence for C9. And Isaac, look at him go. Profits from that earlier damage. And a one-on-one with no time on the clock for Hobbit. Hit unnecessary shots, but doesn't have the necessary time. The kit will not be saved. And GamerLegion, they'll get themselves that first T round immediately.
Some of the things we've really liked out of GamerLegion has been the approach on some of the T calling, right? Some of the rounds that they've been able to present. This was great. I can't believe how much room that Kios was able to get, and it drew a massive rotation once he went through jungle like an absolute speed demon.
Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't check the time on the clock, but in terms of a CT towards B kitchen, having contact with someone in jungle, that was rapid.
Maybe trying to make some land speed records here is Kios, but it will be the force buyback for Cloud9. They won't relent early. Hobbit with a couple of extra kills will facilitate, I think, the Famous in the hands of Electronic here. Yes, it is. So 2 scouts, 1 for Shiro, 1 for Perfecto. They need to land a couple of tags between the 2 of them. And then Hobbit and Buster to finish things off with their pistol of choice. Kevlar aplenty. You 2 extremely light on, as we do see GamerLegion starting to posture for an A finish now. Kios.
Wow.
A ramp.
Dead to Hobbit. He started strong as Hobby. 3 on the pistol. Didn't convert, but immediately posts his 4th on that 5-7. Shiro comes up short with the scout. Doesn't finish off or even tag up any of them. Volt seems to have an idea of its location, confirmed and eliminated now. A-core provides that. Nealon, a real opportunity to stop that rotate. One's heading for him, and Electronic's closing that gap, so he is going to be aware of that. Electronic forces the fight, takes him down.
Still time to go for
upgrade.
This. They need to get a move on and go now. If they want to give it a go, never mind. They're not giving it a go. As soon as I see Buster going around T-spawn, I know that's all she wrote. So 2-0 start here for GamerLegion, and I want to keep A-core on the screen if we could. He had that scout. He forced Shiro off the line with the tag, picks up the AK from Kios, runs into the site, gets 2 kills. They get the bomb down, round secured. So not only a good AWPer, but also handy on the rifles is A-core. The Dane, part of this little international mix. Got Volt the Romanian, sometimes British.
Yeah, he moonlights as both. Just ask Hades about that.
Nealon from Kazakhstan, Isaac the Swede, A-core the Dane, and Kios. What's that flag again? I'm not great with Europe.
Belgium, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not the same as the Netherlands, right?
No, they're next to each other though. And they do
I'm kidding, Europe. I know it a little bit better than that.
There's Flemish, which kind of sounds like funny Dutch.
Isn't that just where they're spitting everywhere?
Yeah.
Nice.
Gezellig. I'm always feeling gezellig, Chad.
Is that like a skate, sir?
It's a very good thing, actually. Believe it or not. It means cozy.
Very heavy stance towards B out the gates here with its retained upgrades, but at least giving the indication it's an A play. Up, down smokes. Hobbit also uncertain. He will drop a defensive one of his own over towards Ticket to play around here, but this is all a bit of a ruse. Nealon is hoping that Cloud9 move a little bit too far, oversteps the mark, and they can get a pick, but Buster's saved Galil, dominates A-core. That's Dink dead. That's perfect work from Buster there.
Yeah, it was so quick. Makes that Galil look like an AK-47, and that's what now could be picked up by Electronic if he does clear this out, finds the timing he's comfortable with.
Hobbit doesn't have help again, and they're going contact on him here. Yep.
Ooh, Perfecto going to be hard-pressed to provide much support. Wow, tracks them with the dig, and it's perfect from Perfecto. C9, this is what they needed. Volt trying to stabilize. Isaac and Volt up against the whole squad. Bomb is under the C9 rule. And so they have to go A, turn the flash and hope and pray. One down towards that CT side with the scout. Goes a little too wide on that one. Perfecto will close. And Cloud9, a very convincing third round there. Not really far from ideal, I'll say, for GamerLegion, considering the way that round started, just losing A-Core and then it all just spiraled.
Yeah, we did find Cloud9 get away with something similar on in the PC. I think it may have even been, was it map number 1? Yeah, they did a lot of damage with those USPs. Remember on Inferno where they saved all those extra guns? And I don't think it came back and set them in such a pretty position as it has here. This is Cloud9 bringing out the AWP of Shiro now. It's GamerLegion in the Forced by Wars as they're going to scramble in with 2 AKs, a Galil, Tech 9, and a Deagle. Shiro posted up here. And you do have Perfecto and Buster locking down B, Hobbit and Electronic in combination towards A, and the Sniper trained in at the ready top mid. There was speculation on maybe whether I'd plonk Buster in this one. We did hear from Electronic on day one, saying they are just going to put him in Axel's positions. But you think to get it across the line, if he does feel more comfortable elsewhere, does it make more sense? Do you have more versatile members?
Yeah, I think it depends on how deep they've been scrimming and how set in their ways they are already.
Just you don't want Buster to look out of place here, especially on the third and deciding map of this series.
No, I agree. I think it makes a lot of sense if there is a requirement.
If you got the wiggle room.
You definitely have players probably more versatile. Buster, yeah, exploited. A-Core puts a bullet into his head. Kios has found a gap as well. Perfecto's got a lot to do on B here. On the rotation, Shiro caught off completely. Nice work from Kios. Volt builds upon it. And GamerLegion now rocking and a rolling. Kios feeling himself and slapped right in the face by Electronic as he looks to maintain Shiro's orb. Fair enough. Doing it properly, doing it by the book. Kios would have loved to bring that into the next. He didn't need to post so aggressively.
They look out of sorts though, Cloud9. And I know they've had some good moments, some highlight moments, the individuals popping off. The desk highlighting some of the things that they're getting better at, and I think that's all great, and I think that the full roster will be very good if I haven't made that abundantly clear here today. But just there, like Shiro not being aware of a window gap, right, these are things that Cloud9, I would hope, at any point in their progression, right, can be on top of. Like Buster stranded on his own, isolated. He stepped out dead immediately here. I think any position where Buster needs to be remotely proactive and let go of that shift key, Cloud9 are screwed. And short is a position where it's aim map. You want to be taking some fights. You need to deal with locking down connector lay. You need to be able to take Jules towards middle if you want this mid control. You also need to be able to activate if your teammates need to cheat over towards A, and then you're dealing with the slink up connector. You're also helping out your B defender. He just gets his head pinned to the back of the wall by some more great rifle work of A-Core here.
Nice angle held by Electronic. Even better headshot.
3 through Palace here.
Yeah, and Hobbit, he has no nades whatsoever, and so he will use himself in a very forward position.
This is how crazy it is. Electronic and Buster are literally just standing in front of each other and blocking each other.
A-Core down. Hobbit passes the first test of this round, and he will not be allowed to get out. Nealon makes sure of that. Kios, strafe through. I think he spotted one, yeah. Electronic cowering in fear and eliminated in perfect unison with 2 others. Just like that, Volt and Kios crack into the A site, and Cloud9 left wondering where it all went wrong. Shiro. Oh. No idea about that one from Kios. God, he can't stop holding W, this guy.
No, he loves it. This is the type of kid in face who I'm just replying to the W key with right now. This is some wild work here, but if they can rip the AWP out of Shiro's hands, that is a massive boon for GamerLegion going forward. And not just because of the scoreline and the outcome of these rounds, Cloud9 just look discombobulated here. If they can't get their act together and soon, I'm very worried for them in this map. It is looking great for GamerLegion. They are looking well put together here. It doesn't look like they have as many gaps in the understanding of what's open, what's available. They're They're searching for this. Want to make sure they're jumping around, I think Nilan was saying, so they don't get pinged by this AWP. But another map that we are yet to see Cloud9 play. I think Maui said that Buster's showing that if it's not a map they've bet him in officials, it doesn't look great.
I see. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. We saw the same thing, Maui pointing to the statistics of GamerLegion. Every game they've played, they've been better at converting advantages.
Learning on the job.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, just growing in synergy with every game played. But this is a progression match. Playoffs up for debate. GL lose Kios. Electronic! Oh my god! He gets 3 with the dig and gives Cloud9 something to celebrate. Not if they lose it. Not if they lose it. Shiro had the AWP. It's now in Buster's hands, and I don't think Volt saw that sandwich player. Dinked by the P250 and AWP'd by Buster. But Akor's been handed something he can manage and chew on now.
If I was picking anybody from the team I wanted alive in the clutch, it's probably Akor here. Not because I think he's special in the clutch. I think he's just been hitting some good shots. And the way that Cloud9 tend to be playing some of these scenarios, they might just offer up the jewels. Might have to take that back when I see it's Perfecto and Buster. Two who love a bit of inaction as their biggest action. Splitting up now. Divide and conquer. Perfecto over towards B. Buster playing ticket. 40 seconds remaining. Akor traversing around the world here.
We talked about these individuals hitting their shots. Well, Electronic's given him another one of those rounds.
This is the thing. It should be the B finish here with 28 seconds left. Akor hasn't been offered up anything, and Perfecto quite truly just has to play to deny the plant, not for info.
His only objective here is to stop Akor when he has to plant in the next 5 seconds. Molly out. Oh, gets the info. Akor. He's doing it. 7, 6, 5. Just enough time. Akor, mind games. And Buster on the AWP for the clutch. Oh, and he takes the fight. Akor saves GamerLegion and shatters Cloud9's hopes after Electronic triple dig. What a recovered round. The Dane comes up trump, and I can't quite get over the way in which he solved that puzzle. With so much of the time against him.
Yeah.
That's Neelan's face is saying what I'm saying.
That's somewhat my expression, maybe without the smile, but the jaw definitely agape here. This is how it started. In case you missed the memo, Electronic with the Deagle, bops 3, absolutely destroyed. Akor runs past him there. You know, it's taken a while to finish the meal. Gets himself into an AK and gets the job done. Massive clutch. And if that one there doesn't send a message to Cloud9, I don't know what will. They're going to take a timeout off the back of that. They are shell-shocked here. Cool. GamerLegion have come to play today.
Yeah, the hairs on my arm are standing on end after that one. The Molly bench, which was just enough for Perfecto to touch his keyboard.
Slightly out of line.
And just expose a toe. With a second to spare for the plant in the 2 isolated one-on-ones. I mean, Akor did it.
Well, it's all going according to plan, apparently, for GamerLegion.
Oh, they stagnated Electronic. He tried to get aggressive, and he leaves with just 20 HP. Not a bullet fired, not necessary yet. Now they'll flash up and run boost out.
It's looking fluid, isn't it?
It certainly seems well drilled, and in such a short space of time.
I guess you have to give a lot of credit here to obviously the coaching staff, and I suppose Neelan as well.
Neelan as well. I would be surprised if we didn't point fingers in that direction. This is a admirable looking
they're going to overrun the AWP here, why not?
Well, they're trying to.
Bound it out the window.
Pot shot. The Buster is there in support. They weren't accounting for him. And a missed shot from Shiro. That is a problem. Volt makes sure of it. Ouch! Ouch! That one leaves a mark. Volt takes 3. Pieces together another round. And yeah, there is an AWP for Hobbit if he's brave enough, but he seems like he'd rather just leave a little earlier.
Look at Kios. Already on the hunt, just
Leisurely.
chasing him down. I'm going to find you. I was going to have a look. Oh, J-Raz, is there a kit here anywhere?
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, it doesn't matter now. There was one. Thank you, Jay.
J-Raz is so good at kit watch, man.
Yeah, well, if he didn't find it, it'd keep him up at night. He wouldn't be able to sleep.
It's true. Now he might get the AWP anyway if he's got the moves. Oh,
Shadow spotted. Oh, to the bomb!
Downs to the bomb.
They even get the all for A-Core.
All right, it's Volt's turn. Volt's turn. I mean, this must be so good for morale when all these individuals are just popping off in simultaneously. Like, A-Core's just won you a round, then Volt turns to him and wins the next round, says, I'll do it next. You know, this is individually exceptional. One, great. Second, stunning. The third, a bit of a joke, spraying down the full HP player on short. And yeah, you can see the reaction out of Cloud9. They are being put in the washing machine.
Another timeout for Cloud9 here, and this might just to center themselves. And Kioz is watching you. Even though it's time to play with the camera, blows you a kiss. Things are going quite well. I can't quite believe this. GamerLegion, like I understand when you look at Group A, you go, well, anything's possible here, and then the Cloud9 news, and you go, well, definitely anything's possible here. But GamerLegion,
they lost their opening match of this group stage. They lost it to Monty, 2-0. They then proceeded to walk through the Mongols, Fnatic, and their last challenge, Cloud9. A full lower bracket run against all odds.
Well, Cloud9 dispatched a Monty yesterday.
It seems like GamerLegion's improvements over these days is being felt by Cloud9 here as A-Core's AWP through the smoke into Cloud9's new leader.
Well, that was the thing, right? If you could apply a bit of Counter-Strike maths, you'd go, oh, Cloud9 should have him. Cloud9 beat Monty.
But we all know about Counter-Strike maths. It's not quite how it works.
Least inaccurate form of maths or mathematics. An opening pick, 1 minute and 10.
Rare to see GL fumble so far in terms of, you know, they're winning rounds that they should, losing rounds they should.
The only round that they lost so far in this map is one that they
shouldn't.
Yeah.
Touche, but in terms of the series.
Yeah, exactly. And that's very telling, right? If that's the only place this one round has come from, how are they going to replicate it? Cloud9.
Good point too. Oh, nice angle from Shiro. I think he had a bit of a pot shot or two, but found by Nealon. Hobbit is in prime position, actually. He's knife out flanking into Isaac.
As soon as he shoots Isaac, though, they just had the bomb A. They'll know where both players are. So Hobbit guarantees a kill, but the bomb quickly jumps off short, down through middle, up connector. And Kioz, of course, he's leading the charge. He's going to constrict you to kitchen. He's pushed CT spawn buster.
Perfect timing from Kioz. Positionally brilliant. Crosshair, bang on the money as well. Tied up 7-1. Damn.
I'd be really happy with Kioz if I was Ash, because he hasn't given up this playstyle at all. And for good reason. He's done a great job in cracking open these rounds. He also makes space, right? It's the room that he's making. It doesn't always get quantified by the kill, but it's what he allows the rest of his team.
Yeah, because typically when they're entering into these spaces, Kioz has already told you where you don't need to look. Wow, this is a change-up. They're trying to mix it up. A lot of teams have this in their defensive arsenal. You get a player out the window early. You can hold underpass. You can be flashed into underpass if you ask Vitality.
I guess Electronic didn't want to go through connector again after copying that onslaught of nades a few rounds ago here, and tried something a bit contacty. Kioz walks out into the loving embrace of Hobbit, who has just been left behind the ramp here, but it will need to be picked up at some point. They still have this forward stance in middle. Hobbit left ticket, went back to window, and is now holding A from jungle. So you can see how worried he is about ramp being a possibility and Palace being a leak as well. This is a very mid-centric setup with the extremities being held by Buster and Hobbit right now. Util still a plenty here for Cloud9. Bunch of smoke, a couple of flashes. Connector now obscured, so starting to work on some progress. That Util is very traditionally telling of middle, but we can see Cloud9 know there's nothing at home.
Well placed Palace smoke, already Electronic working on the full flank. And Hobbit, this is his round right now. He is the only member of Cloud9 who's firm grasp of this game. All Hobbit, 3 on that A crawl.
Shiro's been caught off guard a couple of times here with the AWP, either re-aggressing or holding a line and just not ready for the fight. And that's not the Shiro that we've been seeing so far. We did have a look at his stones, sorry, crystals, and maybe Maui did need to evaluate a few of the others. I noticed he pointed out only 2. I would love to know a little bit more.
And, you know, he called me out as well. I would have assumed it was Jade, but due to the glossy nature of it, it was the Alabalite.
Of course,
Yeah,
of course. Yeah, and the air quality today, we didn't get a report on that, but we'll have to see how Zywoo's going. I'm sure that the rain has probably helped take a bit of pollution. But here's those stones we were talking about. Any crystal mummies or daddies out there?
The one you got to watch out for is that rose quartz. That starts showing up in your life. Some witches are pursuing you. That's all I'm saying. GamerLegion, first timeout. Ash.
A sandwich.
He's just going to be taking the opportunity upon the first threatening round to concede. Of course, we've already highlighted the other one was a bit of an oopsie.
But this is quite truly, again, where we can actually look at Ash, and if we see them come out with another great call, and they completely deal with whatever Cloud9 throw their way, you have to attest the impact of this man here. So he knows he has a great half. 70 rounds already. Boys, I want 10. Oh!
Not going to be deterred by the wibble. Failed incendiary to disrupt the window smoke. It wasn't coming anyway, it seems. And they just get A-Core out mid early for a look. Postured to hold the AXEC. And A-Core looking for Shiro. That's the Shiro we know. Snappy.
AXQ's coming now.
Nades are out. Hobbit will disrupt with the smoke of his own. It allows him to play around triple. Fall back if he needs. Even got a nice gap for the cross if they don't go that way. Hobbit, can he disrupt this? He's been spotted, pushing in. Nealon not ready for it. There's an immediate trade and a 4-on-3. A lot of contact coming CT.
Shiro's behind him.
Shiro is behind both of them. They're above him. No one's looking. Shiro with the orb. Kios reacts. He got traded out by Buster. Volt cannot win this clutch. There's no way. Electronic demonstrates. And so, Cloud9, off the back of a GamerLegion timeout, convert another convincing one. I think Shiro got a lot of contributions from him there.
What are you even meant to do with Shiro in that situation? Like, I've got 2 guys in front of me, and I can't... Yeah. Well, as you mentioned, it didn't matter. Maybe it was better that way, because then Shiro would have been standing in the flames in the window. So yeah, it all part of the plan. Hobbit gets rumbled here, but one thing that I want to appreciate with Hobbit in some of these A plays is his aim has been very steady. It hasn't been shaky. He's just isolated that 1 kill and guaranteed that he's gotten that frag, which not all players are able to keep their cool. So good stuff from Hobbit here is one more of those for Cloud9, and they can humble the economy of GamerLegion. Shiro post up in window yet again, looking for another pick. Smoke will land to obscure the vision, not off the rip. Electronic playing ahead of that.
Yeah, it's Electronic's turn for some aggression. Into the smoke.
He'll hear the run boost.
Run boost spotted. I don't think Nealon has a clue. A-Core should be a dead man. Nealon certainly is as 2 frags come through. Kios with a response. He's a dead man. Electronic makes it so. A-Core would need the multi-kill, but there's just too many bodies taking the fight simultaneously. He gets overwhelmed. And Volt with his Deagle, who might be able to pick up that rifle and has done so. 7 bullets. Would love to reload. And would love to...
That info just flowed one way.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the result of one-way information.
He's going to be heard by Buster here, right? Buster will hear all of these steps until about now. So he's gotten away. Buster should be calling that he heard the footsteps back towards A here. Hobbit just making sure he hasn't had the missed call. That's confirmed. You're right, Buster. It will be the A finish. Didn't quite trust it.
Exactly. That's kind of what. That's why I'm giggling.
And now Hobbit's going to do his best perfecto impression. Now they've already lost a 1-on-2 situation, Cloud9 here. The chips were not as good as they are right here. We've got an M4 and an AK.
He has got time if he wanted to clear CT.
I don't think you would. Because you're probably worried about Palace.
Right. Yeah, he is. Hobbit won't be able to disrupt. He actually just wants to stay unknown.
They're calling the bluff on the fake here.
And he does slip away from Hobbit's initial glance upon CT boxes. They have a good idea he's jungle, but there is a world where they think he's gone round CT.
Buster has a smoke and an extra one at his feet, right? He could smoke this off. He doesn't need to fight this. He doesn't need to fight this.
Oh, he's in trouble now, Volt. Yeah. It's flashes. They're running in. Posted up. Flash don't catch their opponent. Actually, yeah. He's somehow leaving with the rifle. Silver linings and all that, but Cloud9 do recover nicely. An attempt at a 1v3.
Oh, the penny didn't drop that they were trying to usher Buster across because he had the kit there.
At least they get the plant. I mean, in terms of being threatening in this next one.
Look at this. That wall, it's ultra thick, but you think it gets peppered down to 3. Oh. Yeah, Hobbit's going to wonder how much more he has to do here.
So it's more threatening than it would have been. Look at the nades.
Oh, they're going to knock on Buster's door. Buster and Perfecto on this B defense here.
And they're counting on Volt.
Hobbit's rotating over immediately.
Yeah. I think they've got a bit of a premonition about this one. Bit too quiet on that A front.
Oh, this is fishy, isn't it?
Ouch. Yep, 100 damage or thereabouts. And Buster, all he needs is 1 or 2. He's already provided the first. Volt, that AK. He doesn't want to be the first man in. He needs to clean up, but there's no mess being made. Just 1 out of Isaac's Tech 9. Good from Perfecto's nade, and Hobbit taps into Isaac for a convincing round conversion. So 5 for Cloud9's defense now, and that's 4 on the trot as well.
Should be a drop available for Buster here. They know that it'll be the buy into their next. You'd love to get him out with a full util, and they won't. They will be able to drop him a silent stem 4. This is going to be the second timeout for GamerLegion here. Ash on the mic. Last time he took a timeout, not successful off the back. As mentioned, 7's already great on this T-Hall. But if the momentum shifts completely and Cloud9 win the half 8-7, you're going to be feeling a bit flat, knowing that GamerLegion's CT sides on Mirage so far in this tournament have been, well, they've left a lot to be desired, I think would be a good way to frame it. They played it twice, they lost it twice, both with 16-8 games. Managed 3 CT rounds.
In a full half?
Yeah, they started CT side against Mongols, managed 3 CT rounds.
Oof. And then they had it, you said they played it twice?
Yeah, so...
Would have been Fnatic?
Yeah, I'm misclicking here.
No stress. And
yeah, it was against Monty.
Ah, okay.
And they lost that one in similar fashion. That was where they only managed 4 CT rounds.
So 10 would be lovely. 10 would really give them something to believe in. They've just walked past each other. Who benefits more from this? I don't understand.
Shiro's dead.
Shiro should be dead. He's no way he's expecting someone to be in Palace smoke because Hobbit's already pushing T-spawn.
Oh, Shiro's just slipped down here, so he isn't worried about Palace at all. He might get a jump scare of a lifetime, but ARAM also becoming a problem now. This information.
They're not vulnerable to the Hobbit flank anytime soon. So if anything, now Volt has an advantage he doesn't know about.
You're going to assume that Hobbit's pushed ARAM anyway.
True.
But if they go into the B split, Shiro's AWP's just rotated over. The bomb is part of this pack.
Buster screams for assistance. This is where the AWP,
They're coming. Bomb's committed. Bomb's committed.
Have the angle for it. And Keon's first victim of Shiro. Snappy on that AWP. Electronic rounding the corner. Acor caught by surprise. This B defense is perfect. Cloud9 are in the right place and they're hitting the right shot. Isaac next victim. Nealon gone too. And yeah, that Volt lurk, it lost its potency. I mean, he really was just...
You see, now he thinks that there was a player close to the ramp because they had all the info. They had the info that it was likely a B play, right? That AWP was already in the site here. So we asked who was going to favor more. In the moment, if Volt kept walking, he would have found a freebie onto Shiro who wouldn't have seen it. But at that point, Hobbit's forward. He has no faffing around, right? He has no nades, nothing being dropped day ramp. He's like, well, there's nobody in Palace as far as he's concerned. And that meant that it's probably going to be either a mid or a B play. So they get in the right place, fortunately, but I don't think they realize how lucky they are. They have no idea. And they just dodged a bit of a bullet here. It will be 6 now for Cloud9. As Volt will retain the AK-47. Lost bonus into the next. It's going to be maxed on out. That will not affect him. No lost bonus when staying alive on that T side, but the rest of his teammates will all be just under that 4K mark. You're likely to see a partial buy around this saves AK, a gun round in the last for round 15 for GamerLegion. And does Ash want to burn another timeout here? It would be the 3rd. At this point, they realize they've messed up. You've just walked into Shiro's den. It's not just Buster who's thrown that defensive smoke. It's the big man with the AWP who's starting to activate.
Rifle. Cloud9 give no quarter. Kios won't catch Electronic overstaying his welcome in middle. Shiro does get crouch peeked out by Kios.
Boosting window here. Shiro's aware.
Telegraphed. Shiro, good for it. Acor, great deagle headshot, but not much more when Shiro most definitely is alert and ready for you. 7-7. Good to see Shiro back in expected form. Very quiet at the start of Mirage. This is our third map, by the way. Last round of the first half. It is really getting to the pointy end of this game. Elimination or playoffs up for debate.
Now, if we look at the average for GamerLegion on the CT side of this map up to this point, 7 is not going to be enough. 8 won't even be enough here. So now that we've gotten to round 15, Ash is hoping that they can pull something just to give some confidence. It's 6 in a row for Cloud9. Could be 7 here if they win this one. And another 3-man mid-stance. Shiro jumping out. He's been spotted. I think there's lots of comms here.
Kios on the W. On the W. Pursuing the same. Oh my god, that's fast. He's looking for Shiro too. He'll take Cloud9 down a peg. Grabbing the AWP as well. It's his preference, I guess. Isaac Hobbit standing off in the smoke, and Hobbit will be good for the first. On the retreat, hunted down. Volt good for it on the way in. Perfecto finally finishes off Kios, but Nealon is going to be overlooked completely. It puts Buster onto a 1v3, and it seems GamerLegion, thanks to Kios and his quick pace change, will be leaving with an 8th on this T side.
Buster exchanging smokes here. And look at Acor even calling the bluff. Walks out on towards the balcony. Buster, a really difficult round to win. But a round he needs to give a crack here. He's going to wait for the smoke, understandably so, but he's a dead man walking. Volt picks him up. 8-7 on the half. GamerLegion with the tightest of lead. We are going to go to a break, and we return with one final half of Counter-Strike. Who's going to the arena?
What is your calling?
One final half and one spot in the Lanxess Arena, an iconic arena in Counter-Strike that every single player dreams of playing within. The Cathedral of Counter-Strike, they're calling it. And this is the first Cologne, first visit to the city for Isaac, Volt, and Neil at GamerLegion. 8 rounds away from being incredibly successful. How many players on their first Cologne make playoffs? That's a short list.
Yeah, and they're giving it a fair crack at the whip here, aren't they? A team slept on once more, showing up and doing it as a unit. Some good team-based CS, as well as some individuals stepping up to be counted when necessary. The odds favoring Cloud9 ever just here, as Isaac and Volt, they're tasked with holding down B. 3 players from Cloud9 have silently made their descent down through the underpass and molly towards window, and now they're going to start making some steps. Fast up connector into an A split.
Kiosk snapping away. Oof, has his bell rung. There is a setup established. Nealon yet to take the fight. Cleared out first as Acor. Nice work, and it looks good for Cloud9 initially. Shiro's still got that P250, which is the perfect weapon for the job, even if it gets a bit messy. 2 kills from Shiro.
Vent not broken. Perfecto doesn't even need to be staring at this one right here. Can use that as the sound cue. Bomb's going to go down triple. Volt from CT. Isaac's still on B. The kid is here.
Yeah, that's something to be celebrated. He's got that smoke and kit, but...
Okay, well, he just saved them $400. Well, actually, a whole lot more than $400. 700 smackaroos. 4 plus 3 equals 7. Carry the zeros.
Plus an extra for the Kev he might be capable of keeping hold of. Doesn't look like there's any threats. I say that as Perfecto did
Just have a little bit of a gander, didn't he?
Yeah.
But nice pistol round from Cloud9. You know, you make sure there's no aggressions through the B apartments by coming through silently. Oh, Perfecto's going to hunt here. It makes sense. You don't want that cheap upgrade into the head armor as well as other woes that might come with this. A pesky Famine. Just. Isaac, if he peeks again, he might lose his life. Instead, he gets the kill instead. So that's tidy. That's very tidy for Isaac.
He keeps his Kev, and he gets an extra $300 to play with. See the way this was going down. Acor, Hobbit's flight path was perfect. Shots were hit.
You see immediately what Perfecto and Electronic opt for. Electronic holds short, so his teammates can't die. He's already like entrenched, and then you had Perfecto take full window control. So it just meant they had to deal with the players on the site, which was the harder of the tasks, but the 3 of them able to do so. And they didn't actually buy behind this saved Kevlar. So GamerLegion, interesting decision. If you have 2 players save the Kevlar, you know, you can get Famises behind it.
Sure.
You know,
or like you can have something on them.
Yeah, but nothing at all is odd to see. So it's almost in vain that they held onto those goods, but it's going to make Cloud9 question what the purchase is. If I saw 2 players save on the pistol, I'm assuming immediately force buy into the second. Immediately. So this is already going to be a different look for them. And if Volt and Isaac don't die, that's fine. They won't have to buy any armor come the gun round being, well, round number 18. So we've seen them stacked over towards B. Cloud9 are going to kick down the door, roll on in, find out that nobody's home, be diligent with their util still, completely obscuring the vision of Connector and Jungle, and even spamming the boxes for good measure. So Cloud9 up to 9. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, if they do get across here and lock themselves into the Lanxess Arena, who are going to be hoping and praying that they've bought enough time for Axel.
Well, that's my question. Is it a 2-day break?
2-day break, Wednesday, Thursday off.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and because they're playing in the quarters, they will be playing on Friday.
Right. So yeah, it's, you know, keep your eyes on the Cloud9 Twitter.
I'd say if he's not here yet.
Yeah.
And actually, don't keep an eye on the Cloud9 Twitter, because they tweeted out that whole Lord of the Rings thing, which confused half of our crew.
Bit of a misplay. But all the same. You know, Cloud9 are like, they still showed up to the marathon, but they have a dead leg.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you're here.
They're injured.
You did all your training. You know, I'm sure you've got the endurance, but you're straight up missing a limb here. It's not going to be ideal.
Yeah, and that's where two extra days of practice before with Buster.
Yes.
That's going to be a lot, especially when they know their matchup.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't expect them to be a slouch by any means, but at the same time, and it's not to be mean to Buster. It's just impossible to compare Axel and Buster. Like that's not fair to either of those 2 players for us to do that.
Different players with very different responsibilities, typically in a team environment. This, of course, is the exception to that, as he's been given exactly the same responsibilities, which is why we're seeing that contrast. Let's go. Cloud9 T side. Underway now. We are rocking. We are rolling. Acor is posted for a moment. Smoke now. Forced to reposition as Electronic does look to take that connector space.
Acor can become their absolute worst nightmare on the CT side with the AWP on a map like Mirage.
Yeah.
If he gets hot, Cloud9 are going to be in trouble.
Necessary smoke. Does mean that Acor's going to be focused on this if they want to probe out Con. But he's just cheating over. I mean, they've got... Oh, they did have...
While he was setting up for the boost.
Yeah.
Hobbit was quite truly setting up the boost there and tapping away at a player in sight. And look at the red carpet that's been rolled out. Get back to A.
He hears Vault as well, rotating to B. Electronics got him dead to right. That's Mac 10 to the face. No helmet. And he's punished for it. Acor at least stops Electronics' retrieval, but getting into the site now.
Unknown.
The overlooked Nealon. I think he hasn't been spotted out by Buster. Oh no. Okay, Nealon. Yeah, knows he could have done a lot more with that. At least leaves with one, but the bomb goes down and Buster's still alive as well. Full HP on that stairs player that was spotted.
They don't have a smoke for the bomb. Oh, if Hobbit oversteps here, there's a way in.
And he's given it to them. Isaac, Acor. With their powers combined, could perhaps find the equalizer. Heard him charging. Orb looking for answers. Spots out Buster. Nails the shot. Up close on triple. Acor's not considered it. He's perfectly played him.
10
Isaac's
seconds.
not looking.
10 seconds.
Not looking. Acor. Dead man. Shiro clutches up for Cloud9. A triple in total. But they need him. They need him. Without Shiro, Cloud9 cannot see the Lanxess.
That little dart around the box from Shiro,
Right.
perfectly timed. He could have got caught in the back there, so just gets around behind. They have no idea. They expect he's playing the bomb. Massive work for Shiro, and you're bang on. This kid is going to need to continue to step up here. Hobbit's been having a great a great game so far. 18 in total for him. Shiro now joining Electronic on 14 frags, and this is an impactful one. Look what it's done to GamerLegion's buy here going forward. It's not just a 1-on-2, it's not just a clutch, it's a round that gets him an orb, and it puts GamerLegion down to pistols. Oh.
And Pistol's the name of Kioz's game. How's Shiro? Did he collapse them? Where
They were,
did Shiro's
they
help
were
go?
boosting, I'm pretty sure.
What? Well, Kioz's dig has manufactured an advantage, albeit, yeah, with the caveat of he did.
They're starting to come back over here quite swiftly. So 5 players from GamerLegion now responding to any of the threat on A, and Vault removed. Hobbit's aim stays steady.
Yeah, he's taken a couple of nasty beatings.
110 ADR from Hobbit. He's having a banger. Well, if they go now, they'll beat them into B, but they just don't know.
Well, that's it. And you don't want to be the first guy in, running into the unknown.
Buster getting a move on now. Send out the sacrificial lamb.
Great play from Hobbit. He's doing so much for Cloud9 here. And with him combined with the rest, Shiro et al. They got themselves the B bomb site. Nealon's been overlooked on this.
Peekaboo.
So he runs down Buster, but doesn't quite find the head in time. And Hobbit, the hunter, as well. Such an impressive player is Hobbit.
Well, this was another question that people had, right? Because there was the discussion of, should they remove... Should they remove Hobbit and keep Nafany and have him in-game lead and let Electronic off the leash? But if Hobbit can play the quality Counter-Strike that he's delivering right now, I think that you... Well, I see there are also people who don't like Electronic as an in-game leader. I think he's going to be a baller in-game leader.
Me too. It's fun, but you know, it's people that know him as well, so that's why it's like it's interesting.
That's true.
It's
Here it is.
Blade and simple.
Oh, they lined up.
Yeah, collateral
Oh, okay.
headshot.
My bad. I thought there was a boost going on. Never mind.
Bang.
Take that back.
But regardless, yeah, 11 for Cloud9, 5 away from the Lanxess Arena now, and GamerLegion, they just need one round to reinvigorate that hope. Because the funds are being accrued. Isaac on your screens as well. You know, he had a fantastic start to the series over on Inferno.
Yeah, he had those
Top of the
multi-kills towards
scoreboard.
A. He kept 3K'ing on that CT side round after round. And then he even had a banger of a match on Ancient. He's definitely stand up to be counted here today as Isaac.
And Ash burns his penultimate timeout.
It's going to start feeling a bit hopeless soon, isn't it?
Certainly if it keeps going this way, yeah. It's...
But again, the framing. just to make sure I'm not just beating them here, is the fact that their CT side has sucked in the 2 matches they played so far. We knew that coming into this half. It's been 4 consecutive now for Cloud9. Is there any chance of this slowing up?
Well, I think the recipe may be something a little bit more unorthodox. And Kios has gone for that, but there's a gap. There's a giant gap. Nealon identifies it a little too late. And Kios, fortunately, capable.
Volt's here. Will he go undetected?
That's the bomb. Heading up ramp. Perfecto. Nades towards Volt. No molly, though. They have to clear him. Kios caught as well on the walk through the smoke. They're limited now. It's just him. And he's gone down. Perfecto gets some style points. And yeah, Cloud9 do seem to be ascending just a little bit. This extra level within the touching distance of the playoffs.
They're having a mother's meeting right now. That's showing you again, like these guys are hot and cold. They're on and off. You know, it's mainly electronic. Most of the time, you know, they're smiling, they're having a good time. Sometimes it's getting a bit tilty. I told you to throw this flash. Well, we have a tech called. The FPS bug raises its head once more.
Okay, so 2 conversations we've been having and some 2 cool stats to add on top of that. Check out Kios, who is taken part in 9 opening duels, victorious in 4, conceding 5. But interestingly enough, Hobbit 5-0 in his opening contributions, and that just adds to this, I mean, heroic haul he's been providing for.
You know, Hobbit isn't afraid to get stuck in. And Kio's not giving us the love anymore, but he's still got a smile on his face. Just have a bit of a technical timeout with multiple players just restarting to get their FPS sorted here. Hopefully optimized in the future. But, this is a much better looking Cloud9. Over all the maps we've seen, and sure, I know they lost Inferno, Ancient was shaky. This second half is I think, looking or shaping up to be probably the best half they've played so far.
Most definitely, and well, that is only exemplified by their current demeanor. Look at them.
Better get those smiles off their faces. League Ops will be down there very soon to say no smiling during technical timeouts. No crocs, no smiling.
No fun and no crocs. Or I guess I could just say no fun.
Falls under the same category.
Yep.
I need a bit of a match medic here, but both teams are ready and raring to go. Get things back underway. 4 rounds the difference. Everything's settled, everything's sorted.
All right, it's game time, game faces. Hours have gone by, and still we don't have an answer as to who will be taking this spot in the playoffs of IEM Cologne 2023. Acor's AWP, the main focus of our conversation here. Now, GamerLegion have yet to post a CT round. Acor more than capable to mix things up with his own game plan, and look at the angle he's opted for. Now, it's not going to result in any early friction, but it might be early info.
It is huge info here, right? Isaac can immediately leave the B bomb site. He can go and try and bolster things with Nealon and Volt over towards A. Problem is Acor is somewhat stuck, but might catch a timing and does, but a missed shot.
Oh, it's
another Hobbit opener.
Yep, that's another 6-0 now. Orp lost, and I think their hopes may be joining them as Buster comes out of the ramp. The only defender of the A site now gone. There is one, and it's Kios.
They don't know that this has happened because Electronics pushed back over towards B. So Kios is going to get something done here. That nade, not too shabby. Hobbit's going to chase him down, but we should stay on board with Kios here as the MP9 at range. All it's good for is Pepper. As Shiro's going to rub some salt in the wound there. That is 13-8.
Oh, yeah. MP9 at range. Sometimes it feels like a rail gun. Sometimes it feels like a sewing machine. Not ideal at range, believe it or not. 13 though to 8. And yeah, this Cloud9 run, this CT woes. I mean, it's not going to feel good for GamerLegion, that's for sure.
Not.
It's not. And no one wants to be patted on the back saying you played well when you're lost.
Yeah, especially the CT half of a map like this where you should be able to put up some resistance. It's just not clicking for them as Shiro has found some pace and might find an opener. There it is, Nealon gone.
They are just completely disconnected from each other here. Shiro, he could get swarmed here, and it is Kios and Isaac. They just activate, and I think this is going to have to be approach from now on.
Yeah,
from
all
GamerLegion.
in moves, all in moves. Take the fight, overwhelm them, have the numbers.
Just playing a misunderstood default without the nuance layers you need hasn't worked. But just charging at him, you've got the aim, you've got the team play. That flash.
Oh, he's away.
Spoke about team play. Hobbit re-peaks. That's brave. Was really feeling himself. He does dink up Kios, 1 HP on him.
Default plant. Hard to win this round for Cloud9.
Very hard, unless you go round the world from Perfecto. And Buster delays and distracts long enough. Just like that. Kios caught. Worried about the flank and aware of it as well. No one currently considering where is Perfecto. Buster gets another one. And now with the plant down like that, they're not going to be looking at CT. They're not going to be looking at CT. Spray! Diffuse comes through. GamerLegion finally find a CT round.
Oh, that one's going to feel real good. And now the back of just aggressive in middle where they gave up that opening pick. They swarm middle. They take down 2 players. They force Cloud9 in towards the A site. Sure, they get the bomb down, but they do it together. That smoke they dropped to give them an avenue in worked as the wall for the defuse. Very fortunate because Perfecto, once he starts holding down Mouse 1, the spray and pray, anything's possible in that moment. GamerLegion grab another one of those.
Watch this.
This was great. What a good job from Bust. He said he had to delay. Delayed more than long enough.
Yeah, just that spray from Perfecto didn't hit the money on the mark.
But this is the difference. It's not together here from GamerLegion. You said you wanted a bit more out of the book. Well, they've thrown us something quite standard here.
Oh, Electronic going through the procedures, but Akor's stubborn about this. Oh, and he's been flashed off. It fades the spray, and it's Kios from
the
way
side?
downtown to catch Electronic and save Akor. Like, it's a twofold benefit.
And they're rotating B. There's going to be 3 players
in the
here.
right place, yeah. Volt confirms. Bodies short. Buster in the apartment. Another huge frag from Buster, but he will not go down. Akor made a meal of that. Now perhaps there's grounds for a discussion as Volt takes that bomb carrier down. Shiro's still a threat. Held and sprayed. Volt has had a big round here. 3 important contributions to find 2 rounds in simultaneous fashion.
Buster a lot to worry about here, and the bomb, it's in no man's land.
As well, it's a problem. Volt. Ooh, spotted out. Confirmation of this walk from Buster. They know where you are. Now trying to keep them guessing. Volt perhaps going to be more exposed to this new angle he's found. Nielen's holding. Team play. 2 in a row from GamerLegion.
And Nielen not overplaying his hand there. Once Volt gets spotted in that position, Nielen might want to jump out and try and assist there, which would have offered up a one-on-one possibility for Buster. Just holds his nerve, holds the angle. GamerLegion hold on here. That was great. And you know, they started rotating immediately. They know that Electronic is just trying to deal with that rotation point. So they have a very good idea at the finish there. They rotated over with multiple bodies that are ahead of Cloud9.
How stubborn was Akor for that con control? You know, he got bailed out in the end, but that shows that they have the same memo that we've been discussing. We can't just let them get a couple of picks through our misadjusted defense.
It's crazy how much they're just allowing Akor to be the only one to patrol mid. Like in the current top tier teams, you have at least, you know, 2 players dealing with it. You have Nielen in sandwich, which tells me he's expecting an A execute, because this is a position of commitment. Right? Once you're here, especially if you're not smoking the choke points, you're essentially here for the whole round. And what a premonition from Nielen it might turn out to be.
Especially, yeah. Your B defenders have grouped up and are clearing apps, so
they're on high alert now.
Yeah, they might get their utility ready. They can disrupt, they can delay. 60 seconds, and when those smokes sail through the sky, Kios has the crossfire with Nielen, draws attention, hoping to be overlooked. It works perfectly for the first. Electronic was completely distracted. Oh, I'm so blind! He hasn't finished the job. 1 into a default, threatening now. Problems for Nielen. He's having a tough time on Mirage, but a 3-on-3, you know?
Isaac's flank is fast here, really fast. They're still bottlenecked in Tetris. They can't get out. They can't move forward.
He's just trying to remain present. They're calling CT. Eyes are on CT. No one's considering the flank, and that's the bomb carrier gone. A great find from Isaac. 20 seconds. He just chooses to anticipate a reclear. Elevated. Oh! What a shot! Shiro has given him a grounds for this close. He does it all. 14. found. Shiro steals that one away. I thought Isaac had done enough. And instead, GamerLegion now staring down the barrel. 14 for Cloud9, and they've got peanuts in their bank balance.
Yeah, that's why the celebrations just came in there from Cloud9. Electronic and Perfecto letting them know they understand the situation. They know the status quo. You are out of money, and you've got a tough decision to make. You can take a little investment, a light buy, upgrade ever so much here, GamerLegion. Or you can shove all in. Next round, if you just wait, you can get out everything you need and more, but you concede round 15.
So that decision-making tree you saw Isaac presented with there. Look at the time. So 17 seconds, and it looked like initially he wanted to run away, whether it was Palace, whether it was back con. Then he thought better of it.
I don't think he's expecting that hard of a clear,
Right.
because you look how fast Shiro has to commit. It's hard to fault him in that situation. Sure, he could have gone in the corner, jiggled and played for info. It would have removed him from that possibility. But if you're Isaac, you think job's done, and they're going to scramble.
17.
They're going to run into you. Shiro stayed poised, and that's what happens at this level of Counter-Strike.
Brilliant stuff from Shiro.
Wait, hold up. Everybody's here besides Isaac and the bomb. The bomb is just above them. That's going to be, heard.
Oh yeah, dropped it.
It hit the deck.
It did hit the deck. Pins are pulled. Flashes through. You turn that. You hope they jump into your jaws. No reaction out of the CTs. Isaac disconnected. And Hobbit. Whew, 2 with the MAC-10.
Did it all on his own there.
Yeah.
Flashed for himself. Jumped
Not
in.
too shabby. Not too shabby at all.
Test the water. It's feeling fine.
Neelan wants a headshot, and Shiro's the one to give it to him.
Yeah, well, 15. All but locked in here. Isaac and Volt, the last two remaining. 4 players bearing down on this A site. As Isaac goes looking for information again, they'll just swing out. Cutting the audibles, Cloud9. You make GamerLegion think, hold up, they saw 3 rounds. They just expect this full stack. Are they just going to start rotating to the second letter of the alphabet? No, 15 secure now, and without Axile. Coming in hamstrung. A wounded animal. 1 on debut. 1 the Counter-Strike world was hyped to see. Buster. He's filling this void. The job is almost done. Just 1 more round here. They can eliminate GamerLegion and lock themselves in the quarterfinals in 1 foul swoop.
In the last 17 rounds of play, GamerLegion have won 3.
Yeah, this CT side was always going to be difficult.
Yeah. Hobbit. Maybe spotted. He's burning. Burning. 4 HP. And a nade for good measure. Okay. Well, there's an opening for GamerLegion in this one. Spotted out now. Electronic's coming for you, Isaac. Blocks his teammate's molly, but Isaac, ooh, lives on just about. Electronic is so intimidating. He wants to finish this job right here, right now. Round 26. Well, he wants it to be the last round, and Isaac's completely caught out. Electronic calling his troops into the site. As they peek 1 by 1 into Electronic, and they are feeling his wrath. Maybe Kios. Maybe Kios can say play on. 1 is great, 2 would be fantastic, but Buster denies it with a quick adjustment. Volt the double, a triple total, and
This
a
would be
Buster
fitting.
clutch. This would be fitting. The stand-in down. And now 4 more of those required. That is the
These flanks have rumbled Cloud9 in certain situations, haven't they?
I'm becoming a Kios stand.
I can hear Electronic quite clearly, and the level that he is yelling behind, I'm assuming that's what he just said, or BAPS, or
Yes.
whatever the con for that is in the tongue. But he, at the top of his lungs, letting that war cry out, because, yeah, this behind from Kios. Electronic dies, they screaming, it opens, everybody turns, and then Volt happens.
Needs to be perfect. Cloud9.
Beorp's going to search here, so Akor's been boosted. He can hold this line here, and if Buster doesn't come up with the jiggle, he can call things relatively clear. And if Buster does come with the jiggle, he might lose everything. You can see the passive nature of the angle he's currently holding here, and the same to be said for Hobbit and Shiro top mid. They're allowing GamerLegion to make the first move, and you can understand why. I just mentioned the flanks. They've been a problem. What's one way to deal with that? Cast a wide net.
Net set. Electronic going through his protocols. Neelan being kept very humble against this Cloud9 roster. With a smoke on ramp, with posturing forward from Kios, they are very disconnected from what looks to be the final finish. Plan is set. Acor could be the disruptor.
He could be the hero.
It's all on him. So much responsibility.
Isaac's coming.
Oh, at least he's getting away, but he's missed his
Rotation's on the way.
first. He gets some info early.
Hold on, Acor.
And he's holding on as best he can. He's taking down Electronic on the first swing. Buster now caught by Isaac. And they do pass this first test. Incendiary's great. Acor frag onto Hobbit, better.
They might lose everything here. Look at this flank. Volt might get here at the perfect time. Alex, if they kill them after time, this would be massive. Just 10 seconds to have to wait here, Volt. Hold your horses.
Yeah, you're right, if he just waited. But Shiro's going to catch him, and bail himself out of trouble. You got to wake up super early if you want to beat Shiro to the punch.
That quite truly, right? If they were able to get these kills after time, would be one way back into this game, right? The fact that they do retain this AWP is extremely scary now because it is Shiro who can find them an opening here. No dramas whatsoever. That is the biggest and scariest weapon that you probably worried about on the CT side of GamerLegion, right? You just don't want to give up a pick anywhere. But again, they activated late, they blocked well, and the info push came through once more. Kia's pushed a ramp, Volt pushed Palace simultaneously. So they knew immediately that Isaac could just beeline it straight over. Acor takes contact, everybody's already on their way, just calling the bodies, and right now calling a timeout. The final for Cloud9 here. Groove on the mic, wants to get this done. Now, the finances into the next 2,400. So they're going to hedge their bets here. Hobbit has invested with a CZ and a smoke. Buster buying in with a smoke and a deagle, so they can chip in ever so slightly here. In the next round, it's going to be wobbly as well. If they don't get it done with a buy like this. Traditionally needing something like this as a bailout. This could be the closeout.
Making Cloud9 work for this. Kios. Not going to have any issues with Hobbit. And he was alone. So that's information. Nealon.
Can isolate a fight here, Perfecto, if he walks out now?
You would think Nealon will be fine.
Oh my god!
Dear.
Was he on the way off the box?
I think he just jumped up.
His feet just
This is a great
landed.
reaction. This is a great reaction out of Kios. This is Kios' Wonderland.
That was an AWP.
It was an AWP, and Perfecto did own him. But there is a very fast flank on this. Again. Yeah, becoming a bit of a broken record regarding the GL remedy to their CT woes. It is flanks.
And because they're allowing Shiro to come palace instead of ramp, they are going to take their time, but Kios is going to go clear out top mid. A bit of a time delay, but the information the same.
He's got so much utility, and it's not going to be able to use it. They're just jumping into him. Bolt, yep, gets one. Nealon covering for the rest. They're swinging into him. Buster doesn't have the weapon nor health, and yep, they'll close it. They take it all away from Cloud9. Could have gotten awkward, doesn't.
Oh, they've just brought out double AWPs here. They've just brought double AWPs. Kios just picked up one last minute, I think. So sure, one for Acor makes sense. He lost his life over towards Connector, but if they're going to wheel double AWPs...
Is it more potent? Because I don't know if Cloud9 know.
Shot. Bang.
What?
Yes, he took the pick. I think he was on his way off the box as he was dropping down. He caught him midair. Now, yeah, look, they know that there's no AWP on the other side, but I was getting a little bit concerned. I thought Cloud9, with their type of purchase here, it might resemble something a bit different, but executes would be the perfect way to obscure the vision of double AWPs.
And they're so out of position.
Kios won't be flanking with an AWP, will he?
So out of position. This exec. Oh! Doesn't matter! Kios draws blood.
They know it's double AWPs now.
Now they do. But uncertain as to what lies behind the smokes.
They're not using their util. They haven't pushed into the side. The smoke's going to start fading in about 5 or 10 seconds.
He'll be able to post up and have a shooting gallery here. Now,
they need a plant. This is no good, Cloud9.
The AWP from Kios posted on that sandwich angle. Oh, and he's been spotted out. Both taking a little thicker damage, but Acor's AWP now fills the feed. Buster's gone. Cloud9 in pursuit of a plant. Otherwise, we are looking at a tied game, overtime, conversations to be had as GamerLegion edging closer to another CT round. Kios, okay, this time onto Shiro, and Acor might be the next as he tags him up, traded out, and it's good. GamerLegion keeping this game competitive just as we started to doubt them. I gave you that stat, 2 in 17. Well, 6 in the last 8 have gone the way of GamerLegion.
Yeah, they've really changed the dialogue here yet again. And Kios, an X factor here today. He's just been a menace, aggressive throughout, but then picking up a secondary AWP, considering the circumstances. Risky business, but drops it now, going into round number 30. This cobbled together by Tech9s, Mac-10s, Util to boot. They're going to try and finish it with an execute again, but this time if they throw the nades, they have to follow through.
Such an important round. One of the highest stakes rounds these players have played. GamerLegion to secure OT, third map for playoffs of IEM Cologne. And Volt has been ignored, holds it, delivers a nice double kill. It's up to Nealon to do the same. Isaac's with him, and there's only two left for Cloud9, just with pistols. It's secure. Overtime is theirs, and it feels like a victory for GamerLegion. It was a 5-round run to the finish line there.
Well, what a time to have your best CT half on Mirage of the event, to keep you in the game, to take us to overtime, and this is all for the playoffs, baby. MR3. 12.5K, and we're about to get this thing straight underway. No pause, no break, let's go.
I want to see if GamerLegion maintain that CT form.
If they keep getting flanks, Alex, I can't even quantify it. Cloud9 have so many gaps.
And they're going out mid fast. No one from the CT side is inspecting or investigating, but there is an investigation taking shape here. Pushing. He's won the duel. Another impressive and impactful frag out of Kios.
They're reading the play again. Nealon's already over towards B. Isaac and Volta here. Buster, Shiro, Hobbit, sure they're coming. Electronic has a whole bunch of space available, but they're going into the lion's share of the defense.
The angle, profitable. A great catch onto Buster from Nealon. And even Electronic pulling out his nades. He's dead. Oh, and Shiro the same. Hobbit dead. GamerLegion starting to bring the pain. A triple out of Isaac. First attempt at a T round here for Cloud9 in overtime, and it comes up empty. No timeouts available.
Exactly. It's going to be really hard for Groove now. He has to sit back and hope and pray.
How many times has he been there, though?
This combination of this roster, well, this is the thing, but he has even less say in what's likely to happen here. Because you have Electronic, an in-game leader from a different team, right? With a different coach and different star players around him here.
Yeah. They got two players from a different school.
A rival school.
And Hobbit has been doing everything to try and keep Cloud9 in it. Shiro the same.
But look how caged Cloud9 are looking. I think that they have a lot of good individuals that they need to just put in places to activate. If you're sitting like this, and we just saw the B execute, you're coming through a funnel of death. You're coming through this choke point where GamerLegion are already set up for you. Right? They're not putting their players in positions to be able to get the job done. They're just sticking with this slow default crawl, which is reminiscent of the way both of these teams once upon a time approached Counter-Strike. I'm talking about Na'Vi and C9. I know Maui's been happy with some of the other details in terms of the way they've been approaching the game, but they need something now, a bit of a spark. This was looking like it should have been theirs. It looks like it should have been their playoffs, but Kios aggressive again. This time found out by a diligent Perfecto. That's a difference from the previous. An opening kill
for Cloud9. Not only the opening, but also knowing that that early info was present for their adversary. Now crawl through the con. Perfecto. Nope. Oh, he's looking for Isaac, and he adjusts in time. What a round from Perfecto. He had 15 frags. These two worth their weight in gold.
And see how they had tabs on the aggression there. They realized they've been being flanked in all of these rounds. It has to be coming somewhere at some point in time, and we're able to find out both aggressive elements, Kios and Isaac, walking into Perfecto.
Anyone else?
Here as well.
A-Core. You got tagged up. Nealon's managed to find one long range. And A-Core as well to preserve his AWP. Nealon's happy to take these fights if you're going to give it to him.
Yeah, well, he wants to add as many as he can to the scoreboard, Mr. Nealon. In-game lead, doing his best and doing a fantastic job here today. Pushing him the distance as they lose the AWP, but none of that was ever going to matter. More than enough money for another GamerLegion buy here. That was all in vain. 16-16. Who's going to walk away from the first half of OT number 1 with the 2 rounds under their belt? This is where I don't think it's just going to be electronic calling. This is where I think you're going to get contributions of Shiro if he wants to pick anywhere with the AWP. Hobbit also coming up with some ideas. Remember, Hobbit is a very mature player here. We've looked at him as the dad of the old Cloud9 roster.
Right.
Kind of stuck out like a bit of a sore thumb, but he's with a much more experienced team now. He's still going to have a loud voice and still going to be a necessary contributor.
They've gone for that double AWP again. Now, it worked once, and Kios hit 2 fantastic AWP shots.
It does give them a bit more mid-presence to clamp down early, so you can see Acor in the vent, Volt over towards short. Kios is still loitering in this window position and kneeling in connector. So currently, A is open for business. Mid's been flashed out. Another info play for GamerLegion. They're either doing it silently or they're doing it with Utah, but either way, they're getting it done as Nealon might call top mid clear. Hobbit was lying in wait. The bomb's been picked up by Shiro now. Window smoke deployed, but Nealon knows, and so does Kios.
Oh, this is a very risky maneuver from Kios. Hard to flash off. He'll collect it nice and clean. Re-peeking in for another, and Kios the AWPer finally meets his match in Shiro. Nealon wants to hold on to this advantage, and he has a duel with Hobbit. Oh, that he pulls across the line, a necessary one. Otherwise, you'd have been staring at a 3-on-3.
But look at this, 35 seconds left. Shiro over towards B apps, Perfecto and Palace. One of them is going to have to make a move here, and it can't be Shiro first.
Did they bite?
Doesn't matter. He's going to have to get a kill or two. Isaac has no reason to move. Bomb is not spotted. Shiro is a dead man walking, and this is going to be 17-16 in favor of GamerLegion when we flip sides. Perfecto, other side of the map, hit that concede button. You aren't winning this one.
Nothing for him to do. And GamerLegion will be taking the lead.
Kills again. I would love to be able to look at the rounds where Kios has found an opening or even just like 1 or 2 kills and they've converted, because he has now been involved in, what are we looking at here? 15 opening exchanges on Kios. He has just been that activated. We're talking on his pace, how quick he is in the face, the double AWP. He has been involved in 15 opening exchanges here. He's been successful in 9. He's lost out on 6. He is the great disruptor right now. And GamerLegion, they will use their final timeout. Ash gets on the mic. That gives Groove the 30 seconds to try and calm things down here for Cloud9. They're on the CT side. But remember, the half didn't start great for them. They lost the pistol. They lost the conversion. It was very, very spotty until they put a streak of 6 of their own towards the tail end of that first half of play. They need to remember what they were doing in that latter stage. They need to put that in a bottle, and they need to bring that here into their CT side.
Their T side started incredibly well.
Precisely. So what were we doing early? Let's do that again.
Perhaps the conversation Ash has just had. Everything they could dream of for this bye that would put them 1 round away from the playoffs of IEM Cologne 23.
They haven't been in that position in this map, have they? About to battle back in, have had to take it to overtime, and they're about to waterfall out into Hobbit.
And Hobbit, the turret, poised and ready. Only the one kept humble by Volt. Shiro sees to it that it doesn't spiral. The bomb is going down, and they... Ooh!
Late.
Late! But the bomb ticking. Isaac dead. Acor responsible for an awful lot here.
This could be insane.
He's good and he's close towards exchanges, but not if Nealon goes down so quickly. It's not planted for Acor. Shiro had a glance at it, and this round falls straight by the wayside. Shiro even nails it. Thank you for the sound cue. Thank you for the round. And all tied up at 17 apiece. Let's see how spotless of a defense Cloud9 can erect.
Okay, well, the first handled quite easily here, and it was Hobbit, who was the man that we kept looking to on this A side to be good for 1 or 2 frags within the early stages. He was very steady in the aim and does so again here. Shiro, when he gets that kill, he spots the bomb, it goes out to the side. The nade short was a little bit late, but regardless, it's the kill he's looking for.
Mission accomplished in that respect, and they give Acor the green light to go looking, and Hobbit did give him an opportunity, just a slight jiggle, reaction shot, but Acor doesn't quite convert.
You see what's happened here. Hobbit realizes he's pinned behind the box, drop backs, a set smoke towards top ramp, gets the ticket, and now he can turn his attention over towards Palace. GamerLegion had mid-control if they wanted it, but now that Shiro and Electronic are both investigating this con smoke, they still have a few questions to ask themselves. Electronic just waltzes on out. Okay. Well, he has to worry about a player tap or top mid box, and you can see how diligent he's being on the clear. And Acor's watching this, trained with the AWP, so scoped in. Late window smoke here. And again, we've discussed this several times, but with players ahead of this, it's great information. And now Neil, and he knows there's a problem. They need to hightail it into B, but there's 2 players here.
Bust up. Good for it. Couple more clicks. Perfect. Woo! Perfecto should have. Would have. Doesn't. Kios nails it. Now Volt's in the feed as well. Could Acor combine with those contributions? There's such a disconnect between him and his teammate. Already the Baron is spotted. Oh no! Okay! Hobbit saved them. Acor had a chance there, and now maybe Volt does too. Electronic directly underneath them, and a nightmare to clear, a nightmare to get through. And Volt fought from behind. Electronic showing his pedigree. 3 frags from him in that round, and very even kill spread from those top 3 performers.
Well, we've been here before. We have been here before. Cloud9, they could have closed this out in regulation. Now they have to do so in OT number 1. Now there's money to get AWP in the hands of Acor. That's not a problem here. 12.5K, they manage their money, it's all good. Acor, if he gets this second shot while he's jumping around, I think that's on. It is on, it is around. The GamerLegion could notch themselves up to 18. But just not enough as we into the last round of play here. Well, what very well could be. Boost assembled over towards A. Nobody willing to brave the cross towards connector. Palace smoked off. And they know that mid is a ruse again. So able to call their bluff on a lot of this control.
Yeah, not getting what they're hoping from this utility. Cloud9, firm grasp of the situation so far. Must-win round for GamerLegion. And a must-win round for Cloud9's hopes of the playoffs. Lost Hobbit. Have to do it the hard way if they want to close here. What? Tag onto Kios. Out. Now finished off by Perfecto. That's the shot into Acor. He can no longer help. And they're running out of players. Maybe Isaac with a proactive push. Held. But a gap all the same. Electronic walking through. And the trigger discipline is insane from Isaac. Not ready for 2. Back turned. And hunted. Perfecto contributes as well. 3v2. Nealon and Volt. Either end of the scoreboard. Shiro's still a problem as well. They can't get the bomb down with Shiro here. He's hitting his shots. And Volt does not surrender quietly, but not ready for CT. Cloud9 will see the playoffs. No exile. No problem.
Electronic lets out a roar, and that right there for the in-game leader, the newly appointed of Cloud9. It's crushing on the other side. Nealon makes his way back to Europe, an international team. They push them all the way. The hugs come in, but it's fitting.